Our top focus at this hour, British regulators have identified 30 cases of rare blood clot events after giving 18.1 million doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine so far. UK's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency has also said that it had received no such reports of clotting events following the use of BioNTech and Pfizer vaccines. On March 18th, the UK Medicines regulator said that there had been 5 cases of a rare brain clot. That is a rare blood clot among 11 million administered shots. This week, it put the count at 22 over reports of cerebral venous sinus thrombosis and 8 reports of other clotting events associated with low blood platelets. The 30 cases are discovered out of a total of 18.1 million doses given. Cerebral venous sinus thrombosis is an extremely rare brain clotting ailment. As investigations into reports of rare and sometimes severe blood clots continue, some countries are restricting the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine, while others have resumed inoculations. Earlier in March, more than a dozen countries, including Germany, suspended the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine over blood clotting issues. Most of them restarted the vaccination with limitations after the European Medicines Agency, that is EMA, said that the benefits of the vaccine outweighed any potential risks. It is important to note that the blood clotting cases among the recipients of the AstraZeneca vaccines are majorly being discovered in European nations. In India, which is inoculating its massive population with the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine as well, no such case has been reported yet. More than 65 million doses of coronavirus vaccines have been administered across India so far. The vaccine was once hailed as another milestone in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, but has been dogged by questions since late last year. AstraZeneca's jab has been authorized for use by dozens of countries, excluding the United States. But even if the vaccine wins US regulatory approval, the US may not need the vaccine. Well, that's the word from the nation's top infectious diseases expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Fauci said that the US has enough contracts with other vaccine makers to vaccinate its entire population and possibly enough for booster shots in the fall as well.
Day average of cases.
For more on this story, joining me live now on this broadcast is our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark. Mandy, thanks so much for joining us. Now, British regulators have identified 30 cases of rare blood clot events after the use of some 18 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine so far. So is there now a growing argument or fear about using this vaccine in the UK as of now?
I think there's going to be growing fear. I think in all likelihood what the EU medical body, it will be the same as the UK body. They'll find that the risk of taking AstraZeneca is completely outweighed by the risk of COVID-19. But that's not going to change the growing fear from anti-vaccination groups in the UK that vaccines are dangerous. So the real danger is if you look at the numbers, they're very small. It's alarming, but they are very small compared to the number of people who've been vaccinated. But it is going to add fuel to that anti-vaccine fire. And we have seen just in the past weeks, even though the rollout has been going well, more and more people are not showing up to appointments. There's a nervousness now around the vaccine because even though the threat might be small, each person said, well, it could happen to me in the back of their mind. And that's why we're seeing a slightly lower uptake, particularly in Wales, of people starting to worry about the danger of the vaccine. And that is the real threat, that the problem with the AstraZeneca will just become a blanket concern over all vaccines.
Right. Now, Mandy, even Australia has recently raised an alarm after a 44-year-old man reported serious clotting after getting the AstraZeneca jab. Europe, meanwhile, is already going back and forth on using this vaccine or not. So will this spark a vaccine hesitation in the UK specifically against using this vaccine, which was once regarded as a milestone in the global fight against the pandemic?
Yes, I think that there's a real fear that this could lead to greater hesitation. Now, I don't think that hesitation is going to come from the political front because, unfortunately, vaccines has very much been politicized. They made a big point of making sure that it was called the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine here in the UK. So I think certainly from government, we're going to only hear a robust argument that vaccinations should go ahead. The problem when it comes to science, it should not become politicized or nationalized. This is about a global effort to protect people from COVID-19. And if that gets lost, that would be a great pity.
Right, Mandy, we leave it there. Thank you so much with all your inputs on joining us on this broadcast. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.